There we are.
There we are. And here we are.
Here we are.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome back
To
the next edition of
Monday
Night
Live.
Yay. I'm so happy to be back with you. By popular demand, we're just going to do questions and answers the entire hour. We may go longer than that if they're good questions. I don't know. There's probably going to be an appearance later in this video. Maybe by Baby Beckett.
Yeah, maybe.
Star of Beckett Did It on Instagram. If you don't follow his Instagram, it's Beckett Did It, because he did. He did it 4 times today, as a matter of fact.
5.
He pooped 5 times.
I think there's something in my teeth.
What do you got in your teeth?
I don't know. Hang on just a minute. I'll do this off screen because that's rude.
If you're watching this on Facebook, feel free to start a watch party, because we're going to try to answer so many questions that could help a friend or a family member out on their journey back to good health. Remember when we all used to have good health when we were young and full of energy?
I don't know. I think my health is better than even when I was young.
Right. And you've journeyed back. You went through your rough time. You're being lost in the wilderness, and now you're back to good health.
Lost in the wilderness.
Yeah, the wilderness of chronic disease. And it's time for all of us to join together and journey out of the wilderness of chronic disease back to good health. It's possible. It's doable. So share this video, start a watch party, whatever you need to do. You can tag a friend in the comments and help us to help them, because I want everybody to be healthy. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch the YouTube live earlier, Dr. Barry and Dr. Jason Fung did an excellent Facebook live, YouTube live. It's on both, right?
Yeah, and on Twitter as well.
On Periscope.
But
it's on Twitter, if you're on Twitter.
Yeah, Dr. Fung and I, we brought it. Dr. Fung dropped the mic so many times, I think he broke it. It was a great interview. Tons of great information about cancer prevention, and I believe even cancer treatment. And so that's a great video. If you know anyone who's afraid of cancer, who's had cancer in the past, who has a family member with cancer, or who has a family history of cancer, you need to go check that video out.
And share it.
Yeah, heck yeah, share it. I mean, Jason Fung is a fount of knowledge. He is a public resource. And although he lives in Canada, he trained in the United States. He is at heart both an American and a Canadian. And I mean, you can't do better than to listen to his words of wisdom. Totally agree.
Yeah, for real. It was like, I listen to him yap all the time, but this time I got to listen to Dr. Fung talk.
Yeah, I tried my best.
It was really, really good. So.
Didn't I? I tried.
You
Shut
did
up.
good. You did good.
I tried to shut up and let the man talk.
You did good, kid.
Yeah, it was a great interview.
So before we get into the questions, let us know where you're watching from, where you are. Are you close to Nashville? Are you really far away from Nashville? We like to know. It's really cool to see where you guys are watching from.
Where are you watching from right now? I want to see. Me and Jason had people from Norway, Australia, Sweden,
we've got
Philippines,
Costa Rica,
Alaska,
South Jersey,
nice.
New Zealand. What's up, New Zealand? Arizona.
Excellent.
Fort Myers, Dallas. We've got a few from Fort Myers. That's cool.
Yeah, and so let's answer a bunch of questions, and that's our job. And your job is to help us get this information out to as many people who need it as possible, because it's important.
Yeah.
What else? Any housekeeping? Anything we need to cover?
Well, if you want to live on the edge, if you want
to take a risk,
take
a chance.
I have posted my keto-fied Chex Mix party mix recipe over on my YouTube channel. Neisha loves it. Fair warning, okay? I even put it at the beginning of my recipe video. This will make you overeat. It is a dangerous trek to go down if you are sensitive to not peanuts, just nuts in general, like I am. Yeah. Just,
Or if you love them.
Yeah. So it is a treat. So if you're willing to take the risk, it is delicious.
Yeah. Nuts are one of the few keto foods I will absolutely overeat. And I love how you put the disclaimer up front. This is an occasional feast. This is for the holidays. This is not for daily consumption. Chex Mix, they'd love it if you ate it every day. Right. But at least you're honest. You're like, this is delicious and divine, but it is not for every day.
Well, it doesn't have Chex Mix in it. It's nuts and bacon and cheese crisps that I make. It's just really good. Like I said, make it a small portion, or have enough people where it gets put into small portions.
Yes.
Because if not, you'll be like, just a few, another handful, just another handful.
2 or 3 times a year,
Yes.
max.
Not.
It's that good.
It's dangerous.
It's keto crack.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, drop your questions. Let's get going. Hey, Amanda from Kentucky, Dawn from Illinois, Elizabeth from South Carolina.
If you have questions about keto, low carb, banting, carnivore, ketovore, fasting, any of those are fair game tonight. There's so many people out there who are hungry for this knowledge. So don't be shy. Ask your question. Try to keep your question as short as you can while keeping it intelligible. But ask your questions. Please don't be shy. If you've never commented on one of these before, tonight's the night. I want you to ask your question in the comments.
And remember, we can't answer every question. It's literally impossible, but we will answer as many as possible. Kyle says, will eating butter help a fast or break a fast?
Yes. So I use butter strategically because butter has virtually no carbohydrates at all, virtually no protein at all. And those are the 2 things that are going to elevate your insulin a meaningful amount. And so if I'm starting to get hungry while I'm fasting, I will put a little teaspoon of butter in my coffee. And it melts, and I froth it up with a little frother. It's delicious, and that fat hacks my hunger hormones. So, and it without meaningfully raising my insulin, without raising my blood sugar at all. And so it turns off my hunger, so I'm able to fast for longer. So I think using butter as a tool like that, just enough to turn off your hunger. I used to put a whole stick of butter in my coffee. Now I just put a teaspoon. That's all I need to tell my hunger hormones that it's not time to eat. And so in that respect, I think it's a very powerful tool. You can do this with ghee or butter. You can do it with coconut oil if you like that. You can do it with MCT oil if you like that. You can do it with heavy cream, but be very careful. Only put a tiny splash because heavy cream does have a little carbohydrate and a little protein. So it's going to raise your insulin a tiny amount. Too much will break your fast.
Miss Crystal says, do you have a cookbook recommendation?
Yeah.
Well, we do.
We got a bunch.
A few, yeah. So
Yep.
Kim Howerton and I wrote a holiday cookbook. I think it's still linked in the description,
I think so.
isn't
If
it?
not, I'll link it right after this video is over.
And then Maria Emmerich, every one of her cookbooks is amazing.
100%. Yeah.
If you have okay.
Go ahead. I'm just getting ready. I'm getting ready.
If you have a hankering for ice cream, Carrie Brown's ice cream recipe
She's
book.
got several. Yeah.
I've never had better ice cream. Keto or not keto, it is the way.
Where's that video of us eating our ice cream?
It's on YouTube somewhere.
It's on YouTube?
Rebel ain't got nothing on it. Any of those store-bought?
No.
Get you an ice cream maker and get Carrie Brown's ice cream
100%.
book.
Yep. Well, that's what I was going to say. Go ahead. Yep.
Jen Fish's 5-ingredient keto cookbook. I think that's a wonderful one for a Christmas gift.
Yep.
For anybody who's new or just bored, because there's so many good, easy recipes in there that are tasty and affordable. You don't need super special ingredients. Yep.
100% agree. And that's not all of them, but that's the ones that we've actually used, and we actually agree with the vast majority of the ingredients. And there's also a website that has some great recipes on it.
Well, yes. CookingKetoWithFaith.com. That's our good friend Melissa. This is from the nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're still doing it. After she ate the nuts, what was it, the next day?
Everything
she was
went
like,
to crap.
look at my belly. And she literally looked like she
bloated.
was a month and a half pregnant or 2 months pregnant.
CookingKetoWithFaith.com. She has the chili recipe that we post all the time. That's our go-to chili recipe. She's got meatballs. She's got sweets and treats. She's got awesome stuff. And it's all free on her blog. So check her out.
Yep.
Really good stuff. Yeah, man. 'Tis the season to eat some yummy treats, right?
Seasonal, not daily.
Hey, Mom and Food wants to know, will keto affect my breast milk supply?
Well, that's a great question. Let's ask someone who's currently breastfeeding. Neisha?
Well, it depends. Honestly, if you spent your entire pregnancy eating just the standard American diet and then try to go back to keto right after you've had baby, it could affect your supply. That has nothing to do with keto. That has to do with a huge change in the way that you eat and the stress that it puts on your body. It has nothing to do with nutrition-wise. But if you did that and you want to go back to keto, you can do that. Just do it slowly and decrease your carbs over several weeks instead of going from standard American diet to 20 grams total. So
overnight.
Lower them like 50 at a time over a few weeks and you should be fine. Get lots of salt. lots of electrolytes, all of them, but especially salt, and drink a lot of water and nurse frequently. And if the baby is asleep, then pump, because that's going to boost your supply. Breast milk is a supply and demand system, so that really helps.
Good advice. I love that.
Nope. But like I said, I did it, and I did mostly carnivore and never had an issue.
Yeah, she made plenty of milk.
Whoops. This is a really good one, Richard. Is fasting safe for senior citizens? That's
a great question, Richard. Fasting is 100% safe for senior citizens. It's 100% safe for human beings of any age. The only people that should be a little careful with it is if you're a type 1 diabetic and you're currently on a lot of insulin. Then it's not that you can't fast. You absolutely still can fast, but you need to ease into fasting slowly as you work with your doctor to decrease your insulin usage. Now, this is not medical advice. Nothing we say tonight is medical advice, but absolutely everybody can benefit from fasting regardless of their age. You're never too old to get healthier.
Heather, I see your comment, but I don't see a question. She said, I stayed up till 2 a.m. in Morocco to ask you this. Keep putting it in the comments, and I'll try to catch it, because I don't actually see a question from you. So put it in there again. Here's Ange Harrison says, why do I lose so much hair on keto?
Okay, Ange, I actually have a YouTube video about this, and it's a well-known phenomenon. Anytime you're on any diet and you're losing weight rapidly, there's going to be some hair loss from that. That's just known. That's been known for decades in the medical community. If you just fast and don't eat anything, you're going to lose weight very rapidly. You're going to lose some hair. If you calorie restrict with Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig or a vegan diet, you're going to lose hair because you're losing weight really, really quickly. This is stressful to the body, and the hair is one of the very first things that your body will stop spending energy on if it thinks you're starving to death. And so any diet, keto, carnivore, ketovore, plant-based, Weight Watchers, any of them, if you're losing weight rapidly, there's going to be a short period, usually weeks to months, where you're going to lose some hair. The hair, if you're eating keto, real whole one ingredient keto with real food, the hair's going to come back. Tell them about that. Tell them about the hair. Look at this hair. This is keto hair right here.
Yeah. Hypothyroid. So I lost a lot of hair because of that. And then after I had the baby, I lost a lot because of postpartum hair loss. And I've had nothing but thick hair since I went keto carnivore. It is a process. Hair doesn't grow super fast, and it depends on your genes on how fast it grows. That's just something that's different for everyone. But it will grow back. It's mostly temporary. Most people that stick with it see their hair get just thick,
better than it's been in years.
Crazy gorgeous. Of course, it also has to do with hormones, what place you are in life, if you're going through menopause. There's so many things that can cause your hair to fall out.
But it's perfectly normal to lose some hair when you're losing weight rapidly. That's known. That's not just a keto thing. Any diet's going to cause that while you're losing weight rapidly. But ultimately, if you're eating a whole food, real food, keto, ketovore, carnivore, you're eating all the nutrition that you need to build luxurious, radiant hair. Ultimately, hair grows very slowly, but I promise you, when it comes back in, it's going to be more beautiful than it was before.
Okay. Kathy, we have all the cookbooks that we talk about are linked over on my Amazon shop page. All you have to do is go to amazon.com/shop/Neisha Loves It. The supplements we use are over there. The books that we use are over there, and several just extra things are linked over there as well. So check those out over there, and then we'll link them in the description as well. Heather found your question. So hello from Morocco.
Morocco.
She says, I need help with keto carnivore breakfast ideas for my 2- and 3-year-old other than eggs. No cheap access to pork products here, bacon and sausage. I'm fighting my in-laws that bread is needed with all meals.
So you're right. Bread is not needed with all meals. It's not needed with any meal. If your little one has some bread occasionally when your parents are in charge, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. But on the daily, we need to be eating some meat. So first of all, there's 100 different ways to cook eggs.
Well, right? Yeah, there's 100 different ways to cook eggs. But also, there's plenty of keto breakfast ideas online, free recipes and stuff like that. I have keto waffles that have pork rinds in them, so they are getting some meat in that as well. You can find that on my blog. And then
Don't tell your parents that they're keto waffles. Just tell them you made waffles.
Yeah, they won't even probably know.
See?
And then you can make egg bakes, eggs, casseroles. And I mean, breakfast is whenever you break your fast. So you can have anything for breakfast as well. But I know a lot of people traditionally have breakfast in the morning.
It's perfectly fine to have ground beef, minced beef, any chicken. Breakfast is not a special meal where you have to eat pancakes and syrup and orange juice and toast. That's not what breakfast has to be. That's what the big food manufacturers have trained us to believe. Feel
free to suggest any recipes for Heather in the comments for breakfast that don't include pork products, because traditionally we eat a lot of bacon and sausage and stuff for breakfast. Give her some ideas in the comments. Glenn wants to know, why is my energy zapped after the gym? I have plenty of fat to burn.
Well, Glenn, it takes a minute for your body to get fat adapted, to become keto adapted. But it also, when you work out hard at the gym, think about it. It just makes common sense. You're going to be tired after that. That's not, if you really bust a gut in the gym, you're not going to be rejuvenated after that. You're going to be exhausted. That's normal. Just like in the wild, if we go and chase down a elephant and kill it and eat it, we're going to be tired after that. That's okay to be tired after you work out. That's normal.
Yeah, sorry. I wasn't thinking about pork panko in Morocco. Maybe you don't have access to that, but you maybe have access to chicken skins. And if you bake chicken skins or fry them, then they act just like pork rinds. You could crush them up, and then you can use that as a substitute instead of the pork rinds or pork panko in the waffles.
Any real fermented cheese. Beckett loves cheese for breakfast. He'll eat just a big hunk of cheese, or it will melt it on something. But basically, any meat, any cheese, a few berries. If you're doing keto with your little one, some veg, whatever they like, they can eat that every morning, and don't feel like you have to have variety in your meal. I love that Dr. Kilt said that. You don't need variety. If you're eating nutrient-dense food, you can eat the same thing every day. Beckett, right now, currently, he eats sausage and bacon and hamburger, and that's pretty much it.
And cheese.
Yeah, and cheese. He used to love eggs. Now he's like, man, I don't want any eggs. That's fine, because he's getting all the nutrition he needs in the other stuff.
Yeah, but she's saying, like, kids do get bored of stuff. They're not adults.
Yes, and so any meat, any veg, a few berries, all that stuff is fair game, and you can just rotate. When they get tired of one thing, start another.
Michelle says, I can't seem to lose my last 10 to 15 pounds. I've lost 70.
Congratulations.
Good job. On Keto Carnivore 3 months ago. And I improved my Sojourner symptoms, but gained weight. Do you recommend fasting with Sojourner's symptoms?
Yeah, you can fast. There's no problem. There's no reason you shouldn't fast. The last 10 pounds are always the hardest. For some people, it's the last 20 pounds. It's going to be very, very slow. The thing you have to keep in mind is, first of all, you've lost 70 pounds. Give it to her. Booyah. Okay. Secondly, you haven't gained any weight. And you're not going to as long as you're eating the proper human diet and doing some fasting. And so, yeah, some daily intermittent fasting of 16, 18, or 20 hours most days of the week. Perfect. That's going to help you reach in and start to burn that last 10 pounds. And there's no danger from intermittent fasting at all.
Hey, Brittany says, sweet tooth cravings in the beginning, tips to not fall off track.
Yeah. Go. So my tip, my overarching tip is that we're all human. And every now and then we're going to mess up. The biggest, most powerful tip of all is, if you do mess up, oh my God, I just ate, fill in the blank. Do not let that get in your head. Do not feel guilty. Do not feel defeated. Do not feel like a loser. Just say, okay, I did that one thing. That's fine. I'm right back on keto or carnivore. I'm right back on my fasting. I'm going to act like it didn't even happen. The worst thing you can possibly do is get all dejected and beat yourself up, and then just say, well, just screw it. Forget it. I'm a loser. I'm just going to go eat all the Doritos. Don't do that. That's the thing that will mess you up for weeks or months. If you just have one meal where you sin a little bit, have a little keto sin, forget it. Move on. Don't do it again, and act like it never happened.
My tip is fat bombs in the beginning. Those were really helpful for me. There are so many recipes out there. Our friend Melissa, Cooking Keto with Faith, she has strawberry cheesecake ones that are fantastic. And if you are craving something sweet, not only will that give you something sweet, but it's made mostly of fat, so it's going to curb your hunger.
Right.
And eat some salt too. A lot of people feel like eating salt helps curb cravings, but have alternatives. That was key for me in the beginning. If I wanted a cookie, then I used the tools in my keto toolbox at the time, which were fat snacks cookies, or making a recipe for keto cookies. Have an alternative in reach where you can grab it if you need it. Now, I'm not saying eat those every day. There are tools, use them when you need them. And that's a good way to kind of
100%.
help you stay on track while still having something sweet.
Yeah, and also, Brittany, if your family will allow it, get all the junk out of your house. All the stuff that's not keto approved, literally give it to a neighbor, give it to a food bank, get it out of your house and your car and the office if you still go to the office and don't work remotely. Don't, so that way it's not in reach. You've got the fat snacks cookies right there, and there's no other alternative, so that'll do.
John wants to know.
Hey, John.
He's from Belgium. Hello, Belgium.
I want to go to Belgium.
I want to go anywhere. My diet consists of different animal proteins and avocado as my only plant food. Is that enough to cover all of my needs?
Probably. If you're eating some liver 2 or 3 times a week, it can be chicken liver, cod liver, beef liver, doesn't matter what kind of liver, it can be goose liver pate. That plus all the different animal foods and a little avocado, you're going to be getting every vitamin, mineral, amino acid, and fatty acid that your body needs that you can get from food. So there's no way you're going to get all the nutrition you get from what you just described. You're never going to get that much nutrition from eating just the standard Western diet. That's never going to happen. So you've already upped your nutrition game significantly by eating the way you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Kaima? I don't know. I'm sorry. Will drinking water during a meal affect your nutrition absorption? I've been told to avoid drinking water while eating.
This is a good question. Neisha and I have actually talked about this a little lately, and I've been thinking about this. What we're trying to do with the proper human diet is mimic the way we've eaten for the last 250,000 years, right? So let's do our little mental time machine, go back in time 100,000 years. Neisha and I and our tribe have just brought down a mastodon. And we have just eaten as much of this mastodon as we can hold. We don't have glasses or cups, so we didn't drink anything. We just stuffed our gut with this fatty meat. I think it's probably not ancestrally, not that it's inappropriate, but I just don't think that we drank with meals back then. Now, I do drink with meals, but I have tried, since we've been discussing this, to just take little sips of liquid just to clear my palate in case I want to change from beef to pork. I want to be able to taste the difference. But I don't think that it's probably the best to gulp and really chug a lug liquids while you're eating, because that liquid is going to dilute your stomach acid. And especially if you're eating a diet full of fatty meat, like I hope you are, you need your stomach acid to be as strong as possible. And it's not that the liquid's going to dilute your stomach acid completely, because it's a very strong acid unless you're taking an acid blocker. But I do think you should probably limit the amount of liquid that you drink during a meal and just limit it to small sips. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
You see the logic
I think
there?
that we have been marketed to for beverages with meals.
100%.
That seems like something that didn't really become such an important thing to do until like recent history.
Right.
Or for recreational purposes. Like beer and meat and wine and that sort of thing. So
the food industry,
sense,
they've tried to pair certain liquids with certain foods so they can sell you the liquid too. Yeah. A good example of this is back when I was a kid, there was no such thing as a cup holder in the car. And so if you went to a restaurant and you got food to go, or you went to one of the very few drive-ins, you would get food, but there was no place to put your cup holder. So you'd either have a very small cup of liquid that you could put between your legs, or you just wouldn't get any liquid at all. And I think it's very, I think it mirrors the way we used to eat, to only take small sips of liquid or to not drink at all while you're eating.
Allie says, what's your opinion on fasting and healing infections, especially bacterial infections?
Good question. I think for every infection, fasting is going to help your body fight off the infection quicker and more completely than if you're trying to feed a fever, like we're told. I really think every animal in the wild, if it gets sick, it stops eating. Every animal without exception. I think that they do that for a reason, because that helps their body to fight off the infection. And I think that works in your body too.
Asphalt Soldier says triglycerides, whether keto or carnivore, is about 180. Been carnivore since August. By cutting out coffee, do you think my triglycerides will go down?
For some few people, it's the coffee or the tea. Remember, coffee and tea come from plants, and coffee and tea do have a little bit of carbohydrate. You may be one of those people that needs to be as close to zero carb as you can possibly get in order to get your triglycerides down and your HDL up and your A1C normal and all that stuff we talk about. That doesn't apply to everybody, but some of us, in order to have normal triglycerides, we gotta cut down or stop the coffee.
Tracy says, can you fast while breastfeeding?
That's a good question. Let's ask someone who is breastfeeding.
I don't think you should force yourself to fast, but I also don't think you should force yourself to eat. So listen to your body. Some days I eat at 10 a.m. Sometimes I don't eat till 5 p.m. I eat when I'm hungry and I eat till I'm full. And no matter when I break my fast, I still eat plenty of food. So just make sure you're eating enough food.
Yep.
If you do intermittent fast intuitively,
yep.
But if you are hungry, feed yourself so you can feed your baby. That's very important. So don't use fasting to try to lose weight. If that's what you're going for, don't try to do that. Just listen to your body. What's important right now is your milk supply, and you are in charge of that. You're in charge of giving your body enough energy so that it makes enough milk so that your baby has enough energy and he can grow, or she can grow.
Yeah.
You know, I had to Google which way that was spelled the other day.
Oh, okay. How's it spelled?
H-E-A-R.
Here.
Yeah.
What about huzzah? How do you spell that?
I don't know.
Huzzah!
A fun fact, Neisha really can't spell. I'm an awful speller.
Well, that's a hard word. I don't know how to spell huzzah.
Oh, there's a vegan.
Does anybody know? Oh, do we have a vegan? Listen, we love vegans. We do not disrespect them. We're trying to help vegans too. But you got to be nice.
All right, here's a question we get asked a lot from Rahat. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. What macronutrient split do you recommend?
Well, I recommend you split all your macros between fat and protein with a carnivore diet. That's what works best for me. If you're going to do keto, then you need to worry about really one macro. Your total carbohydrate count, you want to keep that to 20 grams or lower a day, every day. So 20 total grams of carbs or less. And then if you eat high protein and moderate fat, I don't care. You're probably still going to benefit. If you eat high fat, moderate protein, I don't care. You're probably still going to benefit. You get to pick those other two macros. You can make them as high as you want, but keep your total carbs 20 grams or less a day.
Usually, though, we recommend a 1-to-1 fat to protein ratio, and we encourage that to be together. So fatty cuts of meat like brisket, ribs, ribeyes. If you're going to eat chicken thighs, and cook all of that in animal fat, that's just how we have seen the most success.
Works so good, and it tastes so good.
It's delicious. We used to use MCT oil. We don't really use that anymore. I don't think it's magical. I feel like it gets a lot of whoop, whoop, and it's like...
Well, you can market it and sell it, you know.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive. I think that MCT oil wishes it were bacon grease. That's what I think.
Yeah. Huzzah! Everybody's telling me how to spell it. Thank you. Y'all look so healthy. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay. Jose says no canola oil.
No, Jose. No canola oil, no soybean oil, no sunflower oil, no safflower oil, no peanut oil. None of those oils are natural oils that human beings have eaten. Most of those oils we've only been tricked into eating for the last 50 to 100 years. Before, about 100 years ago, the first one was cottonseed oil that we were tricked into eating, that Crisco came out with. So avoid all those. Eat real fats that human beings could get in their food environment thousands of years ago. And so any animal fat, avocado oil, what did I say? Avocado, olive, and coconut oil. Those are fats that you can actually take those fruits and make that fat on your stove. or over your campfire. You can render that stuff there. If you can't make it with a campfire or your stove or oven at your home, you don't need to be eating it.
Amy Gossett, hey Amy, wants to know, is red meat inflammatory? This is another thing that gets asked a lot because it's what we've been told for years now.
We've been hearing this for a couple of decades now. The problem is it's just not true. There's actually been research done on this. When they check the inflammatory markers of cultures that eat mostly fatty meat, they have no inflammation in their body at all. It's only when you add sugar with the fat, when you add grains with the fat, and when you add the vegetable oils that we talked about earlier, when you add those things with natural fats, then you start to get inflammation. That doesn't mean it's the meat. It doesn't mean it's the fat. It means it's the other crap that you're eating with the meat. So when you eat that hamburger, it's not the meat causing inflammation. It's the bun and the fries and the sugary ketchup and the soft drink you're having with the meat. The vegans would very much like for you not to know that truth, because they believe that a plant-based diet is the most ethical and moral diet.
I don't think they know that truth.
Well, I think the leaders of the vegan movement absolutely know that truth. But just the average vegan on the street, they believe that meat is inflammatory. I had somebody comment on the live with Dr. Fung that it takes 18 hours to digest meat. Did you say that?
No, it was 72 hours.
72 hours, yeah. and anybody who understands human physiology knows that's foolishness. Meat is digested within an hour or two of you eating it. If any of you guys have ever pooped out any evidence food, is that a thing that other people say, or is that just a Southern thing? Like if you look in the toilet and go, oh, there's a food product, it's always corn, or it's always a piece of broccoli, or it's never meat. And I defy anybody watching this live. Have you ever pooped out a piece of meat? No. Beckett Berry he does not chew his food 30 times. Okay. He chews he's like a dog 3 times and then he's like and swallows it. Okay. Have you ever seen a piece of meat in his poop?
No.
What have you seen in his poop?
Nuts.
Out of the cheese? That's right. Nuts. It's always plant food that you're going to see go all the way through your digestive tract. It's never meat. Never will you poop out a hunk of pork chop unless you eat the bone.
Okay.
I've said poop enough.
Okay.
I'm getting the poop tap. I've said it enough.
Calm down.
But it's very important to understand this. That's just not true.
It's okay.
1, 2, 3.
Do your breathing exercises. Okay. This isn't a question, but I wanted to share Roxanne's story. She said, guys, I used to be a vegetarian. I'm not proud until I met a girl who convinced me to try keto. Go order a bacon cheeseburger with no bun and go from there. I'm healthier now at 34 since maybe 16 years old.
100%. Thank you for sharing that, Roxanne. And I promise you guys, we are not anti-vegan. We don't attack vegans. I really want to reach out to vegans. I actually did a live with a young lady who was a concert celloist or violinist who was a vegan, was getting very unhealthy, having terrible skin issues. She went carnivore, and now she is a new transformed person. I love that story. And what you don't ever see is somebody who's a carnivore who then goes vegan. You never see that. If they do, they don't do it for long because you don't feel as good.
Lindley. It's a pretty name.
Lindley.
Lindley says, my wife has alpha-gal allergy to all mammal meat. What would you recommend for her to get complete nutrition on keto carnivore? This is becoming such a common thing.
It's very common in the media. It's actually quite rare in just.
Well, we get questions frequently.
That's true. So you're going to focus on non-mammalian meat. You're going to focus on any kind of poultry and any kind of seafood, fish, crustacean, shellfish. Those are complete sources of nutrition. Most people do the best with ruminant meat, which is red meat. But you don't have to eat red meat. Most people with alpha-gal can also eat pork, and it doesn't really bother them. It's just red meat or ruminant meat. And it's only temporary, Lindley. It's only going to last for a few weeks or a few months. And so every so often, you need to retry a little bit of red meat to see if that's gone, because that's not going to be permanent. I'm still triggered over the vegan
I was
thing.
fixing to read you a comment. My boy is on a roll. Don't stop him. He'll never stop if someone doesn't put the brakes on over here. All right. Naseem says complex carbs versus carbs for keto.
Yeah. So the only difference between complex carbs and simple carbs, Naseem, is the rapidity with which they're digested. So if you eat the highly processed carbs in a jelly donut, highly processed, your blood sugar is going to spike immediately. Okay. Because that's a simple carb. That's just flour and sugar. Now, if you eat a big, huge bowl of ripe blueberries or strawberries, those are complex carbs. They're mixed in with fiber. They're locked in with the fiber. And so you're still going to have the same blood sugar spike if you eat the same amount of carbohydrates, but it's going to be a slower spike and it's going to take longer. Complex carbs are absolutely less bad than simple carbs, but they're still carbs. They're all carbs.
Somebody said carbs are life. They may feel like they are life, but they are anti-life.
They are. And it's just like an alcoholic saying that vodka is life. They believe that currently.
They taste good going down, but if you take them out, you won't believe the difference
100%.
of how you feel.
So true.
Like you will, if you go back, you'll miss the way that you felt when you weren't eating carbs.
Yeah, I promise you, carbs are not life. They just feel like they are. They've tricked you.
Yeah. I did a reel on Instagram that was, if you guys watched Hamilton, the musical, the king says, "You'll be back." And I did that about keto because every time you fall off, you're like, dang it, I need to just
I feel like crap. I need to go back.
I don't know why I did that.
Yep.
Because so you always come back. And as long as you come back, you know, that's what's important. Don't beat yourself up.
100%.
Just saying. Just saying.
Don't beat yourself up.
Natalie. Hey, Natalie.
Hey, Natalie.
Carbs are so addictive.
They are addictive.
I'm glad you said that. And let's talk about that for just a second because our good friend, Dr. Robert Silas, who has a YouTube channel as well, if you are addicted to carbs, it's okay. A lot of people are. It's a thing. And he has so many videos on how to get a grip on that and get on that keto wagon and stay on that keto wagon and not become a victim of what's up in here.
Absolutely. His handle on you, he's Dr. Robert Silas, and it's CYWES, and he's called the Carb Addiction Doc on YouTube, and he can really help you out. The first thing you got to do, as Natalie will tell you, is you got to just admit I'm a carb addict. And once you do that, then you understand the power that these carbohydrates have over you. They'll even make you say such things as carbs are life, right?
Go ahead.
What?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, if you don't know, ask yourself, can I eat one of these cookies? Yeah. Any cookie. Or can I eat 5 potato chips? If you can't, it is a high possibility that you are, in fact, addicted to carbs. And that's not a character flaw. That's just something that has happened, and it's not your fault, but it is your problem, like this one says all the time.
Absolutely. When a carnivore gets hungry, we're like, I'm hungry. We go to the fridge, we get out some meat, we cook it, maybe plus or minus cook it, and we eat it, and that's it. Never do you find us scrounging through the fridge like some kind of madman, like, oh my God, I'm jonesing for a ribeye. We never do that. But when you have carb addiction, you will find yourself digging to the back of the pantry, looking for some kind of little carb, thinking maybe I didn't throw the remember those cookies? Maybe they're still back there.
Look, if you've ever dug a piece of cake out of the garbage can,
you're a carb addict.
100%. Yeah. And I'm not saying that as a judgment. I'm saying that as someone who like that's happened to people I know.
100%. If after a dinner party or a family dinner, you notice somebody didn't finish their cake and you're like, oh, I'll clear the dishes, and then you eat that damn piece of cake that's already been bid on, you're a carb addict. And it's okay. We love you. You should love yourself. Just admit it. I'm a carb addict. I need to work on this. And Dr. Robert Silas will help you with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady Jane wants you to talk about poop some more. So we're going to indulge her.
Okay.
Lady Jane says, Dr. Berry, when you had constipation, what did you do?
Yeah. I've never really suffered from that. I have always pooped like a champ. But what you'll notice is as you move from the standard American diet full of fiber and full of junk towards carnivore, towards ketovore carnivore, you're going to poop less. And a lot of people, they mistake, I'm not pooping as much as I used to, the volume, the amount, the times a day. They think that's constipation. That's not constipation. Constipation is when you're having pain and you got to poop, but the poop won't come out, and you have to strain and it hurts. You might even bleed. Those are signs of real constipation. Just the fact that you haven't pooped yet today, that's not constipation. Okay. It's very common for somebody who eats only meat to poop once a day or once every other day. And it's just a very small amount of poop, because meat is 100% nutrition. There's almost no waste in meat like there is in vegetables and fruits and breads and grains. If you eat a lot of grain, you're going to poop a lot. We should have a poop counter up here.
I know. I'm over here going.
Yeah. And then also I need to start saying, like you did in your, is that video still posted somewhere?
Video.
Like you're going to poop.
It's on Facebook.
Oh, you got to go back on her Facebook page and watch that.
Please don't.
It's a labor delivery meme. It's hilarious. Like you're pooping. So funny.
Good times. I was blonde then.
You should repost that.
Like platinum blonde.
You should repost it.
Okay, so Joanna has fessed up, and we're going to give her a shout out for that.
Yes.
Joanna says, guilty as charged. I've eaten stale cake to get that fixed.
Absolutely.
Let's have a come to keto.
So have I.
Come to keto meeting. All right. We're going to call it that instead of come to Jesus meeting. We're going to have a come to keto meeting.
Yep.
And if this has happened to you and you've had something, we're going to put it in the comments so you know you're not alone, because
Yes.
you're not alone.
Yeah,
This
everybody
is super
fess up
common.
right now. Fess up so that all the carb addicts can understand you're in good company here.
Yeah. Let's talk to Dr. Berry.
I've got a confession.
I know.
I've got a confession.
Okay, let's hear it.
Back when I was eating crap, I would have the berry girls, right? When they were in their 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old stage. If we were eating cookies or something, I would catch them not looking, and I would hide the rest of the pack of cookies so that I could eat those later. I've done that more than once. Yeah. And so I would literally take food out of my children's mouth so that I could have some cookies later on with my milk later that night. You got a carb confession?
Let me think. I was always potato chips. That was my thing.
You're more of a savory.
I'm a salty,
carb
savory
yeah.
person. So I would, because I lived with my parents while I was going to nursing school. And my dad also, he was a very big carb addict. I didn't ever have that much of a problem, but I mean, I would hide my food from him so that I would be able to eat it, and he wouldn't eat it, because if I left it with him, because he's carb addict 100%, it would be gone.
Yep.
It would be gone.
One very important point about that, the carbs don't have to be sweet for you to be a carb addict. You can be a carb addict with Cheetos and Doritos and potato chips just as much and just as powerfully as you can be a carb addict with powdered lemon jelly donuts, which used to be my crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shira says, "Oh, so many confessions."
Yes,
because you're not alone. It's
read
not.
through these confessions, guys.
Don't feel bad.
Don't beat yourself up. Just admit it and go watch Carb Addiction Doc, and then together we can all fix this carb addiction. And the big food corporations who capitalize on our carb addiction can suck it.
Susan says, "I can't take just one bite." That one sentence right there, if you can say that about yourself and be serious and know that about yourself, it will save you.
Yes.
Because if you know that, then that first bite should never happen.
Yep. Because you know that's like the first drink for an alcoholic who's been sober for 6 months. Should they take, I'm just going to have one drink. It's okay. Just a bite. Just one drink. Yeah. No, you are an alcoholic. You can't take that first drink. So now you know, Susan.
Yeah, pizza, that was another thing. I could eat a whole pizza by myself.
Yeah. Oh, I would do that after the girls, because they didn't like the crust or whatever. I would round up all the leftovers, and I would just sit there and watch whatever and just binge on I've done that before.
Dr. Berry, he used to just.
Hey, I was fat.
He was a grazer.
Yes. Constant, ate all day long, every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he was paleo.
Yeah.
Paleo did not work for either one of us.
No. I think it maybe helped my inflammation a little, but I was eating so many carbs.
Here's the thing. Here's another. Somebody said, I can't find it, but somebody said it's worse than cigarettes, and because no one says that it's a thing. So
right.
You see someone smoking, they know it's unhealthy.
And people will judge you, and they'll say something, and they'll look at you.
And you can't even argue with them. They're like, "You need to quit smoking." Yeah. I do. You know what I mean? That's not something you can argue with. But if somebody tells you, you don't need to eat that donut. Well, then you're being judged,
Right.
and they're being mean, and like, because it's such a common thing that we're just so used to everybody eating that kind of stuff that it can't possibly be bad for us.
I think that was a very important point you made. It comes across differently. If I say, "Oh my God, you shouldn't smoke cigarettes; they're bad for you," the smoker agrees with you. But many people who are addicted to carbohydrates, if you say you shouldn't eat that jelly donut, that's bad for you, they feel like you're being mean. You're being hurtful. It's like, no, this is food, damn it. I bought it at the grocery store. It's okay for me to eat this. Stop being mean to me and judging me. But it's just as bad for you as the cigarette.
Another thing is moderation. No one is smoking cigarettes in moderation and thinking that somehow that's okay. But moderation is a word that gets thrown around a lot with carbs. Moderation isn't even, like, tell me what that exactly means. What does that mean exactly? There's not a true definition of what moderation means. What, once a week, once a month, once a year?
Just snorting one line of cocaine. Is that moderation? Just stopping at one line?
Yeah.
No, it's bad for you. You shouldn't do it at all.
It's just, the lines have gotten very blurry when it comes to the effects that food has on us. Unless you're a vegan, then, it's all healthy.
And there are some very rich corporations who their profit motive depends on tricking you into thinking that those carbs are okay to eat.
Yeah, and I think one day it will be known that, the sugar thing.
It's coming. People are learning.
Sugar is bad, and it doesn't matter if it's from a donut or from whole wheat rice. It affects your insulin. Hyperinsulinemia causes problems, very severe problems, and it is known. It will be known.
There's already one country in the world that has a warning. In Sri Lanka, their diabetes association if you get a little pack of sugar in their restaurants, it says may lead to diabetes and obesity. And so there's already one country on board with this. It's just going to take more of us speaking up, being honest, and admitting, hey, I'm a carb addict. The more we do that, the more it's going to help other people. It's going to give them power over this addiction to say, you know what? I may be a carb addict too. I need to check into that. I need to try to go carb free for a week and see what happens. Hey, you baby.
He just wants down. He wants to play.
I'm going to throw you.
Everybody say hi to Beckett.
What if I'm
Keto baby.
Keto baby. Stand right here and tickle your belly.
All right. Let's see. My Hemi says, after 2 years following you guys, my biggest takeaway is eat to live, not live to eat.
Absolutely. And there are so many of us who we live to eat. That is the biggest pleasure of our day. That's another great way to know if you're a carb addict. If eating is the biggest pleasure of your day, most days of the week, that's not healthy. That's not normal. There should be other pleasures in your life that eclipse the pleasure you get from eating. I enjoy eating a ribeye, but I would much rather play with this guy if I had a chance. These are the pleasures of my life, not the food that I eat that I can't wait to get back in there and eat as soon as this life is over. That's a huge sign you might be a carb addict.
Where's my eye? Eye? Where is my eye? That's not my eye.
It's your headlights. Where's my nose, baby? Where's my nose? Good baby. Where's my ear? Where's my ear? Yeah.
Good job.
Where's my hair? Do you know that one? That's your hair. Yeah. Good job, baby. Yeah. He knows way more words than he says. He's kind of shy about saying words. Man, he knows what they mean.
He knows over 10 words. He talks pretty good for a 1-year-old, I think. Okay, you can be down. You want to go back to Lovey? Come on.
Turn that baby out. Let's see if we've got another good question here. Find us another good one, babe.
Thanks so much for the comments, guys. You guys are amazing. Yes. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for the stars on Facebook and the super chats. Absolutely. Thank you guys for that.
Whew.
I'm all worked up.
Shelby says, one thing you said earlier that I'm going to remind myself daily, it's not your fault, but it is your problem. 100%. He said that 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, that is gold. That is gold, because most of this isn't our fault. We've been told things by experts, people who should know.
Yep.
And well, how are we supposed to know that they were wrong? How are we supposed to know that? We couldn't.
You couldn't know. But that's why we do this every Monday night at 7 p.m. is so we can help you learn. And then you won't be fooled again because you know.
Yep. Toronto says, thank you for Dr. Fung interview. He's from my hometown in Toronto. If you guys didn't watch that, the interview with those two was really, really good. Let's see here. Why does your caduceus have eyes? It's the snakes. The snakes have eyes.
See the snakes?
Amber says, I do not miss carb coma after eating.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I used to have the biggest carb coma, and I would always lay down and try to watch a YouTube video or try to listen to a book. I was asleep in 5 minutes.
Oh, crap. Sorry. Where is the interview? It's here on YouTube or on Facebook, either one. Or
on Twitter. You can find it all three places. Just look for Dr. Berry, Dr. Fung, and you'll find it.
Jennifer wants to know, what do you eat in a day?
Well, let's just talk about today. What have I eaten today?
Nothing, I don't think.
Have I eaten today?
I don't think so. Did you? Oh, you ate steak.
Yeah, I had.
Ribeyes.
I had 2 thin ribeyes. They weren't thick. Yeah. I had 2 ribeyes, and then I had a big slice of beef liver, and I put some mustard on my beef liver because I like beef liver, but I don't love it. So I put a little mustard on it, 0 carb mustard, and that helps me to get it down. Also a lot of salt. But have I eaten anything else? Oh, I ate a bite of the little chocolate nut things that Melissa made. I had a bite of one of those, and that's all I've eaten today. Yeah.
In December, we give ourselves a little grace to eat keto treats where we wouldn't.
This is a festival month. We're celebrating.
Yeah, but we don't do it every day, and we don't do it all day.
No. Yeah, but on a usual day, if I were going to eat a second meal, I would not have eaten that little chocolatey, nutty thing. I would have eaten some more meat.
Yeah. Tice says, does liverwurst count as eating liver?
Liverwurst does. Liver cheese does. Liver pate. Cod liver. You can make the most amazing liver mousse or liver pate with cod liver. I like to just mix it with salt and mustard. It's freaking delicious.
Hey, Cody. She wants to know, do you do vitamin D drops for Beckett?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah. She's breastfeeding her 17-month-old, and she takes a vitamin supplement as well. Yeah. Her baby loves me too.
Yep. If you're not getting about 6,400 IUs of vitamin D a day, and you're exclusively breastfeeding, then you do need to give your baby vitamin D drops. But a study has proven this. This is known. We've got a YouTube video about it. If you'll get 6,400 international units of vitamin D3 a day, a woman's going to make all the vitamin D in her breast milk that her baby needs. 100%. Yeah. So Neisha takes her vitamin D, or gets it in the sun, or gets it from the vitamin D rich foods that I talk about in my YouTube video. And then if she needs a supplement, she takes it, and Becky gets all the vitamin D he needs from her breast milk.
Okay. I've seen this a few times asking about carb blockers for cheat meals.
Yeah.
I know what your opinion is, but what is your opinion?
The carb blockers are crap. They do. You cannot block the physiology of the human digestive system. What does it do? Does it make you just crap? Well, no. See, the fat blockers like Electrolytes, they will make you crap your pants. Yeah. The carb blockers are just, it's baloney. I'm sorry. That's a waste. Gimmick? It's a total gimmick. You wasted your money. Yeah. Sorry.
It sounds so good, doesn't it?
Would be awesome. So good. Would be awesome, but no.
I mean, if they worked that good, wouldn't we all be on them?
Right. And we'd all be skinny.
Yeah. Skeeter.
Hey, Skeeter.
I love that name. Skeeter says, I started carnivore 6 days ago. My psoriasis is already clearing up. First 3 days were murder. I'm a truck driver, and my energy and focus is so much higher now.
Yep.
Way to go, Skeeter.
Do you know how many guys were called Skeeter when I was growing up in Hohenwald, Tennessee? We had a bunch of Skeeters and Scooters and Pumpkins, and I loved them all. They were all my friends. We went to the river. We shot guns. We drank beer. It was great.
Do you have any Weezers?
No Weezer.
Weezer?
No Weezer.
If you watch Still Magnolias, you know. You know.
Good job, Skeeter. Keep it up. And Skeeter, share your story. I don't have to tell you, there's so many morbidly obese diabetic truck drivers in the world. You can help those guys to not be as miserable as you know they are.
I think there's a really good keto trucker Facebook group.
Yep, I can't. It's keto. If you just look for keto
it.
trucker, I think you'll find it on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's a great group.
A lot of bubbas. Yeah, a lot of bubbas.
A lot of bubbas. Yeah, I had a bubba or two.
So many bubbas.
Heck yeah.
Bubba 1, Bubba 2.
Yeah, famous last words in Hornwall growing up were, "Hey, Bubba, watch this." It's bad every time.
Classic. Let's see. Oh, my voice is screechy. Well, I'm very sorry. There's not a whole lot I can do about my voice. God gave it to me.
It's screechy?
Yeah.
That's
Guns and Loaded says you saved my life. 135 pounds.
Boom. I love it.
Awesome.
That is awesome. Now it's your job to save the life of every friend and family member that you care about, because you know the truth now. Now it's your time to tell the truth.
All right. I've seen this. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Seen this question a few times. I think we have a few new people in here.
Yep.
Keto without a gallbladder. This is something we get asked constantly.
Yeah, you absolutely can do keto without a gallbladder and benefit tremendously from keto without a gallbladder. I've got a YouTube video just about that. Just go to YouTube and search for Dr. Berry Keto Gallbladder. You can watch the whole video. You may have to come at keto a little slower. You may not be able to transition overnight like some people with a gallbladder could do, but you just transition over a few weeks and you can enjoy all the benefits of keto, even if you don't have a gallbladder, even if you don't have one kidney, even if you don't have a thyroid gland. And literally, there's no body part that we can take off of you that you won't still benefit from keto.
Precision. Well, why does it keep? I hate your laptop. Precision Tub Technologies. I bet you do videos. That is a very professional name. Beth is really interested in Neisha's daily supplements. We're patrons. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Hair, nails, all, etc. Actually, I'm fixing to do a what I ate in a day supplements video. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go check it out, because I'll show you every single supplement that I take, when I take them, how much I take, why I take, and all that stuff. So that's coming up on the
We don't
YouTube
take
channel.
many, but she takes a few, and you're going to share it coming up the next week or two.
Yeah.
Thanks for your support.
Yes. Helen has a non-scale victory. No more chronic sinusitis.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
That's a big deal if you've ever had chronic sinusitis. That's a big deal.
Oops. Beach Hound says, can carnivore help someone with an essential tremor?
Maybe. Here's the thing about essential tremors. Everybody has one. Every human on the planet. But usually when you're younger and healthier and not anxious, you can't notice your tremor, okay? But if you get tired, if you get anxious, if you get mad, you might notice your tremor. And as you get older, the tremor becomes more noticeable. Now, in some people, their essential tremor can be quite severe. So keto or carnivore might make it less severe. In other words, it won't be as noticeable. It'll be a smaller tremor. But if you have that's something we all have, but you may still, you may not, your tremor may not go away. It may just get less noticeable.
Tremor, not tremor.
Tremor.
Johnny. Johnny.
Yeah.
Yes. Papa. You're supposed to do it.
I don't know that.
Eating sugar.
Oh, Cocoa Melon.
Yeah. We watched too much Cocoa Melon.
I didn't know his name was Johnny.
I've heard some doctors say that fat causes fatty liver, and that if I do keto, I need to offset it with vegetables. Is this true? I probably have fatty liver.
Yeah, that's totally false. And I know who you're talking about. I have a lot of respect for the guy, but in this one thing, he's just wrong. Okay. I've got several videos on my YouTube channel about fatty liver and how to reverse it completely within just a few weeks. Go check out those videos. Eating fat does not cause fatty liver. Eating simple processed carbs, that's what causes the majority of fatty liver. Alcohol can also cause fatty liver. So if you've got fatty liver, stop the alcohol, stop the sugars, stop the grains, stop the vegetable oils, and eat keto, ketovore, carnivore, and your fatty liver will be gone within a few weeks.
Monkey Shredder says carnivore for going on 6 months from 290 to present at 226, and type 2 and high blood pressure free.
Boom.
Thank you. You saved my life, Dr. Berry. You saved your life.
You saved your life.
Way to
now
go.
It's your job to help a relative or help a friend, because now you know the secret. You're smarter than the average doctor when it comes to human nutrition. So go out and share what you know.
Yep. All right, guys. That is our time.
It's been a good one.
It's a good hour.
You rocked that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you haven't gotten enough of us tonight, we'll be live tomorrow night at 6 p.m. every Tuesday in our private Facebook group. The way you get in that group, if you're interested, is to become a patron on patreon.com or to become a Facebook supporter. And if you want even more of us, then you get that every Tuesday night by being in our private Facebook group. And your small donation helps us spend more time and more resources to help more people, because I'm sick and damn tired of there being an epidemic of obesity, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, hypertension. I'm sick and tired of that crap. I'm ready to fix it. And with your help, I sure the hell am going to fix it.
Everything you do is helpful. You don't have to be a patron. You don't have to send super chats.
Right.
Chats. Hitting the thumb, sharing this video, and commenting are all awesome ways for you to share it. You don't have to spend any money to do that, and we appreciate that.
We're grateful
so much, especially sharing
that.
and subscribing and liking and following and all the things that you do on social media.
Yeah, we're so grateful that you've been part of this journey with us, and we ain't ever going to stop. And I hope you don't stop either.
Screech. We will see you next Monday. Same place, same time.
Don't be late.
It's a date.
It's a date. Don't be late.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us. See you next week.
See you guys.
Bye.